or too
Yeah.
high of a bit rate of an encoder.
Now I have you moving. Yay! And you froze. No, you didn't freeze. That's just me. You actually, you know what, Vince? You're fired. You went completely still for 2 seconds, and I thought it froze again. You freaked me out, man.
Okay, now it's starting to load.
I
Okay,
don't know, Vin.
now it looks like I'm live.
There we
Okay.
go. Got it. Fix the encoding problem. Who the man? I converted it off of my processor and onto my video card because my video
Okay.
card isn't doing anything right now. So I figured,
Well, that's
why
good to
not?
hear.
And it worked. Go figure. And to think, my painkillers haven't kicked in yet. All right.
Just wait. There's more goodness to come.
Always more goodness to come. All right, guys. Our guest did not arrive today. I apologize deeply. I'm gonna check Skype one more time just to be double sure. Um, we might have to postpone him until next week.
Well,
Or if not, I'm gonna be, look, you owe me. I want Paul Sage and Brian. Do it
all at the same time.
all at the same time. We can handle it.
Yep. Bummer.
Yeah, it looks like he's not available tonight. Dang it. That really sucks, but we'll hold off on those questions for next week.
Yeah.
I will get him. I
Yeah.
swear, I will get him on the show. And I wish I would have had more time for a backup plan. I was gonna ask somebody to come on the show tonight and join us, but no time for that. Because I had somebody asking me in the forums for the guild if we were looking for a fourth.
Well,
But it looks like he never got back to me. So okay.
problem. Not a problem.
Let me think. I'm thinking. All right, we're gonna do something awesome tonight. We're gonna wing it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, we're gonna totally wing it.
Turkey or chicken?
I told well, turkey legs. Well, can we go legs instead? Because those big monster ones they have at the fair,
I like the big ones from the fair, those
Yeah.
big turkey legs.
Jinx. Yum your soda. All right. Well, we're definitely gonna be talking about the recent updates. Let's go ahead and talk about it in
Oh,
detail and have fun with that, gentlemen. Natural conversation, picking fun at each other, the works.
Yep.
Um, we will get into our weekend game, it looks like. So we'll just kind of go over that. Talk about. I'm trying to think. Is there some kind of like special topic that we should do just for fun? Hmm.
well, maybe the chat room might have some questions we can answer or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Guys, ignore the room behind me. I've been very ill lately, and I actually look better than I have in like two weeks right now. Go me. But
You're only as white as a vampire.
yeah, no big deal, right? Let me see here. Ignore the room background. Haven't had the energy or time to clean. Well, I've had all time in the world. I've just been kind of not able to. It means I have to actually get up and do something. I'm gonna think about this as we go. So if I surprise you guys with something off the cuff, I apologize in advance.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't be the first and the last, I'm sure.
No, I gotta do that to you guys sometimes.
Hey,
Oh, my
I
fan
think
is
I
epic,
can
man.
close too.
That's the fan that keeps me cool during the summer. It's no longer in use for the next 7 months, but yeah. Those
Sorry about
little
that one over there.
yeah $15 box fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That thing's
that's
lasted
cool.
like 6 7 years now. I really need to clean that up behind me and do something back there so it's more appealing.
Well, let's pretend it's not there. That's all.
I need to put up a green screen behind me again and put like a clean room on the green screen.
Yeah, there you go.
This is actually a green screen behind me. I'm doing the dirty room for giggles. That's
Yeah,
what it
that's
is. All right, you guys ready to do this?
Let's do it, Joe.
Yep.
Oh, I have an idea. All right,
Yeah.
I got a surprise for you guys later. I have an idea. Going in 3, 2, 1. Hi everybody, welcome back to Elder Scrolling Online. We have been in hiatus for, 2-3 months now. We apologize greatly. Life got in the way, but we are back as promised on Twitter if you follow us there. We are back. I am Joe the Widget Wilson, your host, followed by my fellow co-hosts, the man with the voice that I wish I had, Mr. Fred, a.k.a. Baranon.
Hello, Joe. How are you today?
I've been better.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I think both of us
Let's get on
have.
with the show.
Yep. All right. And the man who weighs about half of what I do, Mr. Vince, a.k.a. Kareneth.
Quarter of
Hello,
what I
everyone. Hope you've all been doing well. Certainly have missed you and missed doing the show, but we're back.
We are back. We did
with
have
a
a
vengeance.
we did have a guest planned tonight for like a big bang of a welcome back, but the guest didn't make it last minute, so we're improvising tonight. That's okay. We got stuff to do. As you guys might have noticed, we are missing a fourth host. He is no longer with the show by his choice. He will be missed, and I wish him well. So right now, it's me, Vince, and Fred. We're gonna rock this joint, yo.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got a couple things going on tonight. We're going to be talking about the recent Update 5 highlights and the little sub-patches that came out for that. There's a little bit of highlight there. We got a word from our sponsor tonight. We have our little weeks in game, or should I say months in game for this episode, as it would be, since it's been months. And we've got an add-on spotlight, a pretty awesome add-on that Vince brought up to the table. I don't know if it was Fred or Vince who brought it up, but either way, it's in the notes. We're talking about it. And we are waiting for Update 6 to hit. And we're going to have a couple other little surprise topics that I have not told my co-host because I'm total jerk tonight.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to drop it on him, and we're going to have some fun. But first, ladies and gentlemen, a word from tonight's sponsor.
Are you tired of having to squish those little bugs? How about killing them little critters and rest? You like having that there, that blood all over your boot? Well, come to Big John's Bait Emporium. We got all the critters, crawlers, bugs, snakes, crawlies, uglies you can ever want to put on the end of your hook. Come now. We got plenty happy customers right in the middle of Daggerfall. Say that Big John sent you, and we get you all the creepy crawlies you want, including the goods, all the squishy bits. Hey, just ask our happy customers. I love Big John's bait. It works every time I catch all the fishes.
It's Weasel Stomping Day.
And that was our sponsor, Big John's Bait and Tackle Emporium in downtown Daggerfall. Yeah.
Well, I hope they paid the big bucks for that.
Right?
There's a customer. He goes through a lot of bait.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Now you know where to go to get your bait. Big John's.
All right, guys. So, we have had quite a few updates since the last we've talked. But the big one recently was Update 5. A lot of really cool changes happened. It was the update that I came back into the game after a 2-month hiatus. But life changed, and I'm back. And I'm glad to be back in game and enjoying it again. Update 5 brought a lot of goodies, like I just said. I'm repeating myself. But one of the things that I have been beating my head against the wall for, like literally every day, is I crawl through Dwemer ruins looking for the pages of the Dwemer armor crafting. They introduced Dwemer crafting in the game, so we have now Dwemer motifs, and it looks cool. I'm actually,
true.
huh?
You're right. I
Yep.
agree.
I think it's the medium armor that looks like it makes you look like a ninja. I was really weirded out by the fact it looks like all like Dark Brotherhood-y. But the shield that Gildy made for me is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I got a couple of great swords that were made for me by one of our brothers, and they're probably the best great swords I've ever had
Awesome.
Nice.
in that Dwemer look. I love them.
These are a little different how they did this, in that you can get pages of the book, or you can get the entire motif book, but that's much rarer than the actual pages.
From
Yeah.
what I understand, what I've been told, it is the most rare item currently in the game. A legendary book. So, it's how they have the Imperial, how it's legendary. Yeah, Imperial drops at about, I believe, 10 times the rate of the Dwemer book. And you can only find the Dwemer book in certain areas. So, good luck. If you found one, you need to go out and buy a lottery ticket if you're over 18.
For sure.
I
I'm
have
pretty
been
sure someone in the guild found one.
really.
They're
I
Yep.
need to have a chat with him. I know that Roy Boy in our guild is like the Dwemer master. That guy
he's been
has
all
found
over he's the one that
every.
made the great swords.
Yeah, he made my
Yeah.
shield. The guy has found every single one of the pages. And enough of those, the new material that you have to get to make Dwemer, because you can't use your standard crafting materials. You have to get actually the Dwemer scraps from doing the dungeons, or driving in the Dwemer ruins. Those are actually kind of rare. I have found 19 total. And I've been diving every day into the Dwemer ruins trying to find them. If you guys, a little tip here. If you guys are in your high level vets, there are two places you want to go to in order to do this. And I should have actually looked up the names before I do it. There's one called Avishnel in the Rift, which is one of the best places to do it because there are tons and tons of little masonry jars. And for some reason, this little jug that looks like it hold about half of a cup of liquor actually held a Dwemer page for me. Go figure. So I recommend going there and farming that. It is a pain in the neck. I've noticed that even if I zone out of the dungeon, log off, log back on, it still won't reset. Yeah, certain time frame on it, I believe, before it'll reset. So I usually go and fish and then come back and dive deeper into it. There is one more Dwemer ruin in the Caldwell Gold area, and for the life of me, it's lower something in one of the zones. Yeah, I'm totally useful.
I haven't actually started farming for that yet. So.
Okay, so someone in
Can't
chat
help
said it
you.
resets every hour. That's good to know.
Thank you for the assist.
So, you know what? I'm kind of jealous of whatever faction gets to do the desert in Daggerfall, because there are so many Dwemer ruins there.
Yeah.
As their Caldwell's Gold. If they have Alakir, was it Alakir Desert?
Alakir, yeah.
Yeah. If they have that in Caldwell's Gold, they're lucky. They're gonna have the best chance of finding this stuff. I can't do it because
Zex Wheel, I believe, is the name of that one dungeon. That's good size.
yeah, there's like 3 or 4 actual Dwemer dungeons in that desert. It's like the desert mecca of Tamriel. I looked, went through and went online, looked up for Dwemer ruins to go farm, and it was like, oh yeah, the desert. Here you go, long list, and no, everywhere else you got maybe 1, 2 in every other zone or so, but that's all right. Or Daggerfall, we rock. You know it.
Yep.
All right,
For
guys.
sure.
What else do you want to bring up?
While you're talking about updates, you certainly have to look after with the update 5 rather. You have to look at the werewolves. That I know you're not big into the werewolf, but that was the main thing that they did.
They're flea mitt.
Gave a lot of love to the werewolf this past year. It was the big thing. Obviously, they added a lot of skills and passive skills, and probably the biggest thing that was touched on. Anybody that's a werewolf now knows that your stamina regen was increased by 15%. or in both human and werewolf form.
I gotta
And
say honestly
that's a
that
huge plus.
the werewolves have needed a lot of love for a while. I
Yeah,
was a
and
werewolf.
this was necessary.
Yeah, I
They,
was a
they
werewolf
deserve
for
it.
a while, and
I gave it up. I went and had the curse removed, and now I'm thinking about going back and doing it again because of this.
same.
Yeah. So if you're a
Yeah.
werewolf, I'd love to hear how you feel. You know,
Honestly,
if you-
the whole
worth it.
werewolf thing that bugs me is the fact that it's an ultimate. The whole thing revolves around the ultimate, and I like my banner too much.
Yeah, but with the swapping, you can certainly use the one on the other side. Use the banner for one and use the other side as a werewolf. I did that for a while, and it was okay. But like you said, it was a big trade-off. For me, in the beginning, it wasn't really worth it because of the poison effect, and I
Yeah,
just didn't see the value, the upside of being a werewolf. So I just removed the curse after a while. I was getting beat up too much with all the spiders and being pouncing on me. But now I can see the real benefit of with the stamina regen and stuff,
Yeah.
especially if you're a stamina build like I am with the Dragon Knight. So that to me is a nice plus side.
Yeah, those are kind of. I think that's awesome to put those in the game, but they're little things that are for just niche people. If you want it, go get it. If not, it's not going to be a game breaker.
True.
Vince, what do you got? Anything you like about it?
Yeah, the Monster XP, they changed that, and one thing they did nice here is
Hey,
you
Vince,
receive 30%
really
of
quick,
XP
buddy.
for the monsters, even if they're 5 ranks or more below you.
Hey, Vince, really quick. Your cat was mooning us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, go ahead. You were saying?
Okay, so you'll get full credit for the monsters that are 1 to 3 ranks below you. You'll get a little bit less. You'll get 75% if they're 4 ranks below you, and 30% of the XP for the monsters 5 or more ranks below you. So the good news is you'll get XP even if they're, even if you're VR14, you're fighting a VR1 monster, you're still going to get the XP out of it. So that's good.
That is good.
This was part of the XP changes for the champion system, which is a larger change altogether, where you're no longer earning the veteran points. You're now earning experience, so you're earning it in a slightly different way than you used to when you're veteran ranks. Now you can get XP for everything you used to get XP from in the levels 1 to 50, for example. It's basically the same as it was there for how you can obtain the XP. A little more consistent, so I'm glad that they made that change. They recently made a change where when they first implemented this in patch 5, you needed 1.4 million XP to advance a veteran rank.
Yeah.
They recently reduced that in the latest patch, so now it's only 1 million XP. So there has been some retroactive adjustments there, and you may have noticed your XP bar moving a little bit.
I did this in time frame. Losing 400,000 XP to have to worry about getting every level is like saving yourself about a week in time total.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a help. But one thing I do want to add is because of the changes that they made to this system, if you haven't already, and most of you already have, but if you haven't, make sure you check your attribute points and make sure you reassign them. I've seen some people running around out there, forgot that they have to reassign their attribute points. So they're running around with no health or no magic or stamina. So take a look at
They
that.
better fix that by now, though.
Yeah, well, there
This-
may be some players who didn't notice that. They may have noticed it a little bit squishy, and you also want to check your skills because some of the skill lines were refunded.
This is, what, 2 weeks after the fact, and they're still running around a little bit squishy?
It's possible.
What the heck,
That's a
man?
bit of a problem. Hello? I don't understand. Why am I dying so quickly all of a sudden? For the past 2 weeks.
I curse you,
My skills
ZeniMax.
aren't working as well. Yeah, folks. Some of your attributes and stuff were reset, as well as skills, weapon skills and such.
Yeah. Who was I talking to recently in the guild where they were running around and wondering why they were dying so much? And
Yeah, it was the same problem, wasn't it?
yeah, for
Yeah.
2 or 3 days, and didn't realize. Oh wait, yeah, skill points.
Well, it happens. I can understand a day, but 2 weeks? Okay.
Shame, shame.
Oh, well.
All right, guys. One of the cool things that came out as well, they gave the Undaunted some love. It's
Yes.
no longer just a wimpy little skill line. Actually, it had some pretty cool abilities. I give it that. Really cool abilities in some cases. It's now more than that. There's undaunted pledges. They have a little setup now. Outside the city, I forgot the name. Depends on what faction you're in.
Nice little camp there outside of Wayrest.
That's the one for Daggerfall. So it's pretty cool. I like it. They have 3 different chests: bronze, silver, and gold. You get keys after you complete undaunted challenges, which is doing dungeon achievements, and with new loot involved, the undaunted loot. The undaunted stuff looks cool, and I'm mad at my guildies for not taking me on more undaunted runs because I don't have any of that loot yet. What is up?
Hey, you could have came with me every night.
I know,
I've
right?
had runs. I mean,
Well, I'm gonna get
I'm
this right now.
sorry.
Me and Fred had a blast for 2 nights.
Oh yeah, we
So-
did. We had a great time.
Yeah, Fred got to get me and Fred got together a group, mostly Fred, of a whole bunch of guildies, and we went out and just demolished Aradon. In my VR1 sorcerer, which I hit VR1 with him, yay!
Congratulations.
And my second VR, and we were running on Aradon, just demolishing everything. And Fred was so cool; he did it twice.
No problem. I enjoy it.
It was fun. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Demolished everything and got to do everything and having everyone in the people in the guild hanging out. Just who was it that said guy time? His guy time. It was Dogma, Lord Dogma.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hanging with the guys. I don't know if we had any females that night in the guild or in the run with us.
Great hanging out with us.
Yep, it was great.
hanging out with us.
All right, well, back to the content stuff, guys. Okay, so I brought up the Undaunted Pledges. Is there anything else about that you want to talk about? Like, because honestly, because I have done it so very little, I'm not too well versed in it. Like, what is the deal with the golden keys and silver keys? How do you get that? Is that random, or
No,
do you have to do?
actually, with the pledges, each 2 quests that you get, you either have the silver or the gold, and the silver is theoretically a level 50 or so quest,
Oh, okay.
and then you have the veteran quest. If you finish the veteran quest, for example, and you do all that they ask, including the optionals, you will get a gold key. If you only do
Oh,
what's
schmexy.
required to finish it, you get a silver key. If you do the silver quest, let's call it, which is the lower end quest line, and you do everything they ask you, including the options, you get the silver key. If you only do what was required to finish, you get a bronze key. That's the basics of it. So you get one of those 3 keys based on how much you complete of the quest that are pledged that they ask. It's simple most times. The veterans obviously are a little bit difficult because they're veteran dungeons. But
I did go on one veteran run for, I believe it was Spindle Gulch, but they made me tank it, so that's why we didn't win. But no, actually, it was bugged. We got to the 3rd boss.
tanking is bugged a bit because
No,
of the
it wasn't the
taunting.
tanking. Seriously, my tanking was actually for surprisingly pretty good for not doing it ever. Well, hardly ever. My guild needed a tank. We didn't have any. We put a group together, realized we had a healer and 3 DPS, and realized we were going to die quickly. So I switched over to a tank. And we actually beat the goblin, that DPS race boss. We beat him on the 2nd try. And we almost beat him. He was down to like maybe 3 or 4% before he, avalanched us to death. We beat him the 2nd time without pause. We got to the 3rd boss, and he's the one where it's like, I believe, 3 to 4 waves of mobs come at you.
Yep.
Every single wave came out at once.
Oh no.
Every time. We literally had something like 100 or 200 enemies on us. And it was like literally a wave of enemies going over us, and there's our corpses. That was it. Done. And this happened every single time, so we're like, okay, I guess this is not going to be completable, and we left.
Not meant to be.
Not meant to be today. That's awesome to know, though. Thanks, Fred. I was actually kind of curious about that. I know if it was like a chance thing or not, and I guess not.
No, the chance thing is whether you get undaunted gear. I've actually, it's funny, every time I opened up a silver, I've gotten undaunted. And every time Gray opened a silver, she never got an undaunted. It's just one of those odd things.
Just luck.
Yeah,
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna get one. It's gonna happen.
you get. I'm sure.
All right, Fred. Is there anything else that you want to bring up on this?
Well, I guess the other big thing obviously is the Ritz. The crafting Ritz.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them, so I'll leave that to Vin to talk about because I'm sure he knows more about the crafting Ritz. But that's a pretty big thing. I guess they're like Quest, right? Vin?
Yeah, it's something you can do every day. Basically, they have them for most of the crafting, and you can get a reward for them. You can get survey reports, and basically what it is, obviously I just do alchemy, but you can get a survey report as one of the rewards, where it gives you like a concentrated area of better nodes of your crafting materials, basically, that you can get out of that. So it's just kind of a neat little thing you can get out of that.
All right, guys. Oh yeah, crafting writs are pretty cool. I don't really recommend doing them if you're already maxed out in crafting because you're just not going to get much out of it.
Exactly.
They're phenomenal if you're still working on getting your crafting up.
Yeah.
You know what I read someplace about them. Somebody said they're great for the people who are really into role playing. They're kind of that kind of aspect of the game for our peers. They really are enjoying it because it gives them another aspect of the game.
Yeah, it's
dimension.
something else to do.
Yeah, adds to that dimension.
We are getting a question in chat that I think we should address.
Champion system.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, can we talk about what's going on with them introducing champion system and what you know about that getting rid of the vet levels? That was by Ashton. And honestly, I know quite a bit about it. I've actually seen it. And from what I can say, what I'm allowed to say, is that it is, well, like you said, it's getting rid of the vet levels. Remember, for those of you who have played Skyrim and has saw the sky charts where you were able to pick your skills, we're getting that in ESO. Not on as a more dynamic scale as it was per se in Skyrim. And what I mean by dynamic is it's not going to be as potent for every point. There's going to be minor things that you can do for every point. For every level that you go up in the champion system, you're going to gain a point to put into that star tree.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes everything, all little minor details about the game, including if you're struggle with picking locks. There's going to be a skill in there to help you do better at picking locks.
And they're going to be like a passive set of skills. Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
It's
a massive passive set.
It's going to be a way to enhance your character's abilities beyond what they are already.
Basically, what the team at ZeniMax decided to do was, okay, we already have a game that's incredibly in depth for character customization. We want to make you guys do more customization. And that's what we get, which I think is incredible. And why not?
And everything's going back to the experience points for the rest of the way as well.
It is. No more VPs, VP
From
points.
vet levels, it's going to be experience levels.
So the veteran points work differently than XP points did in the game. You attain them differently than what you would for normal XP questing. You couldn't monster grind your way to veteran 12. You could. It would take you about, I don't know, a year at least. That's just it. Regardless, it would take you a long time. Most of the time you got veteran points from doing stuff like dungeons, world bosses, Craglorn areas, things of that nature would give you more VP points. That's going all the way. Now you're going to be able to do your quests and your monster grinds just like you did going from 1 to 50, and it's going to just carry right on over.
I think as of right now, you're getting points for killing monsters, as we just learned. In 1.5.4, we're getting experience for killing everything, even things that are 7 levels below us, right? Isn't that
Correct.
what 1.5.4? So we're getting things. We're getting a third of the experience for everything that's 7 levels below us. So we need 1 million experience points to gain a vet rank right now. Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
In essence, every vet rank is like getting an experience. Is like getting 1 level, Ashton. So
Very much so. It's not going to be like level. We're not going to be level 62 or 64.
53. I don't know. What are they going to call it? Do you know?
Champion
Joe,
rank
that?
1, champion 2, champion 3.
So it's going to stay to a different naming system.
Just a different name, but what they're doing with the champion system and why they're renaming it is just, it's completely getting away from the whole veteran idea and getting a whole new system in there for in-game. So they're gonna probably call it the same. From what I've seen, they may change this. Okay, all this stuff is really subject to change. If they don't like the way things, they may say, okay, you know what? No, actually, there's no way they would say 51, 52 because it just doesn't work with the whole champion system. It's going to be something like Champion 1, Champion 2. And you're going to it's going to give you a skill point, and it's going to give you your stat point like you did from 1 to 50. That's why they made that change already in game, because that's now what you got. Instead of what they were doing for veteran, let me get my mind straight here. When you went up a veteran rank, they gave you a set amount of stamina, set amount of health, a set amount of magicka up. They changed that. Now you get the points. Now you get the customization back. And all these changes they're making recently in the veteran system is to convert over to the champion system, so it's not all at once and melt your brain style of gameplay. So they're just weeding it in slowly and methodically so that people get used to it and understand it, and we get into the fun part next, where we get the full bang. Here's your skill trees. Have fun.
Right, I think we're in phase 2 now, aren't we?
3. We're going into phase
Phase
3.
1 was the original. We're in phase 3 now?
We're going into phase 3. Yeah, you're right. So we are in phase 2 currently. That was the XP switches,
Right.
which is going to be in line for what they're going for. Yeah, I'm sorry, Fred, you were right.
It's okay.
This will almost be like a perpetual advancement in that you'll be able to put hundreds of hours into this champion system.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to note, which I've noted in previous episodes, is the champion system is account-wide, which is really awesome because if you do the work on one of your characters, you will still get benefits on your other characters, your alternate characters as well.
Yes, that's very, very true. Yeah, the whole system is account-wide, which is a good point, Vin. That's another great thing about it. And people are probably going to ask me, okay, why don't they just do 51, 52, 53? Why this separation? Why a different system? It's because they want to give you an in-game experience for more advanced customization into your account, your characters. That's why they're doing the split. Okay, so you have the end of the story at 50. Yeah, you beat Molag Bal. Spoiler alert. All that good stuff. And now it's a whole different game. Now it's about more detailed customization of your character and characters. Because like Vin said, what you do in a skill tree is going to translate to all your account. So I personally think it's amazing and
Yeah, I agree.
kind of smexy. There's your
Be
word of the
exciting
day.
for sure.
All
At
right.
least you know your character is going to continue to grow and expand into different. It can become something different, even though it's fully maxed out, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's going into its champion phase, or however you want to think of it.
And I'm pretty sure they'll eventually put in a way, I don't know if it'll be at launch, where you can reset your champion points and redo them.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure they'll have something like that.
yeah. All right, so back to what we were talking about in the changes here.
And don't forget, probably another big thing with this changes with this latest update was the what do you call it? Oh my goodness, I can't remember what it's called, but the dungeons and stuff. If you and I go in,
Oh, yes, the
what the
brain
heck?
farts around here. Where's
I
my...
had my paint pills too, Joe.
Yeah, I need to get my sound effect here.
Oh,
Where's my soundboard? There it is. I need this one. Oh, I don't have it? Maybe I thought it was too crude. I used to have a fart noise, but I don't have it.
that's it. I'm having a brain fart right now. It's terrible. But the where everybody will equal up to the leader's level. The dungeon equals that level.
Scaling.
what it's
Dungeon
called.
scaling. Gosh,
Scaling.
my brain wouldn't work.
Now, that's the huge, also a huge thing for everybody. So we're not all in a level 42 dungeon and getting through it like it's a cupcake. We go in as V7s or whatever. This is great. I'm going back in, and it's exciting to go into a dungeon. It's not like a walk through the park.
Yeah. That's very true. And the scaling goes off of your lead character, or off your party lead. So
Right.
whatever your party leader is what the level dungeon's going to be. So if you're all a bunch of level veteran 4s and you have a veteran 12 guy in there helping you out and he's your party lead, you guys might want to rethink who the leader is.
True.
Just saying.
Unless you want a true challenge.
Right?
Exactly. It's great to have that flexibility. If you want it to be tougher, you can make it tougher now.
But there is also now the what is it? What's the number of levels in between where there's an issue? that wasn't there before. You know what I'm talking about? In the group,
Oh, like 5 levels?
5 levels, right?
Oh, the level gap.
Right. There's a level gap now between people in the group where there's some issues. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
think at
also
5, you
becomes
want
a
to keep your
problem.
party within 5 levels of each other.
yeah. So, but that to me is the highlights of 5. I mean, there's a lot of skill, weapon skill and class skill changes, but you know, you come to expect that kind of thing because they're constantly trying to balance everything.
Yeah.
So by
You're
now,
gonna get that a
everybody
lot.
knows what they're doing.
One of the big things that made me really happy about 5 was that, and my phone's going crazy. Well, I don't want a phone call right now, thank you. We my Dragon Knight is, I use 2 different things for his DPS. I use 2-hand weapons and I use bows.
Yep.
Guess what they really buffed up this last one? Bows and 2-hand weapons.
Bo's got 2-handed.
I
And
got so
two-handed
giddy.
Yeah, yeah, you should be happy. I mean, Bo's got a lot of poison arrow. Got cripes.
My damage output for my bows is ridiculous now. I
Yeah.
thought it was beast before, now it's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. What I love is what they did to uppercut because I stopped using uppercut
Mhm.
because it was so slow, and now it's a lot faster. They decreased the time it took to set up.
Yeah, you don't have that wind up anymore. Well,
Yeah.
not as much of one.
Right. Yeah, it's still there, but I think it's like takes 10% less time or something like that. So
The changes they made to snipe is phenomenal. You don't have that minimum range anymore. It's I have guys on top of me and I'm still using snipe to nail them, and that thing is so powerful. It's so nice. Thank you,
Well, yeah, well-
Zenimax.
right, 40% less time to cast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beast
Amazing.
mode now.
Yeah.
They made some other changes to different weapons. I didn't really get in too much from my play. I know I use Destruction Staff a lot for my Sorcerer, but I didn't really dive into those changes too much.
There's only one thing that changed for destruction.
that was mine.
Pulse.
Okay.
Just the area damage can now do critical hits.
So the 2 were the big changes were the 2-hand and the bow, right?
Right, and one-handed got a little bit of love too, with absorb and battlefield mobility. A little bit of change too. So, but that's about it.
Alright guys, one of my favorite things about this patch update is they got the improved facial animations in.
Yes.
It doesn't look like you're talking to
I didn't think
robots.
that was going to be that big of a deal,
You wouldn't,
and
right?
then I noticed it. I really did notice it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed it as well.
You wouldn't think it's a big deal until you actually see the difference. When
Yeah.
I mean, I used to not. I couldn't look at their face because it drew me out of the game. I had to sit there and look at the the chat dialogue and listen to the voice, because if I look at their face, I feel like I'm talking to a robot, something out of Disneyland, you know?
Yeah. It's amazing, and I keep thinking now when I look back, and I think how much work they have to put into this thing. It's amazing to me how much dedication and the guys that work on this and the gals.
Yeah.
It just absolutely blows my mind, and it's cool that they want to put that kind of effort into this to make it that perfect. I'm
yeah.
really thrilled.
They're
I really am.
constantly updating the game and improving it leaps and bounds. I look very much forward to Update 6 because I have a strong feeling that's when we're going to start seeing Champion. But don't
Yeah.
quote me on that, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, the last thing I want to bring up really quick about Update 5 was they added new content, the Veteran City of Ash. I have yet to see or explore that.
Yeah.
Heck, I haven't even done the arena yet, so
Yeah, same here.
we need to do that, Fred.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Get me and Vince together and get us a tank that's not me, and so we can actually do some real
me.
damage.
I'm a tank.
No, there you go.
I'll
Solid.
let you DPS and I'll tank.
Hoo-ah.
Hoorah, hoorah.
Hey,
Another
man.
thing I liked about this update, the chat bubbles. Believe it or not.
Oh, yep.
It's good for role players.
I was waiting for Vince to bring that one up.
Them in AVA. Pretty.
I
pretty
can see
cool.
the role players loving it, I guess. I'm not a big chat bubble person. So I turned it on, I watched it for a little while, and I go, yep, not me, and I turned it off. The nice thing about it, is it is a switch. It's a switchable feature, so
Absolutely.
I love it for that. So people can do what they want. You know, if they really want the chat bubbles, there it is. There you are, folks. They put it in for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Vince, tell us how much you love it, man.
Like I said, I find the best use of it is actually in AVA when you're not actually in a party, with friends or in TeamSpeak, etc., in a voice chat with friends. If you're in a large group, people from different guilds, storming a keep, etc., it's really cool. You can see what people are saying and where they are, and it's just very nice in that regard.
Awesome. It's a cool little thing they added, and I love the fact that it's toggleable on and off. So if you don't want to deal with that and it takes you out of the game, you don't have to have it. Default is
Exactly.
off, so you have to actually go into your settings to get that turned on, which makes it nicer. It really, really does. All right, so what we're going to do really quick here is I want to get into that add-on spotlight. So I'm going to
Okay.
let Vin take this one away.
Okay, so for this episode's add-on spotlight, I'd like to cover Wicked's toolbar. This is part of Wicked's framework. He's done an awesome job with the add-ons that he's made for ESO. I think that this is a must-have. I use this on all of my characters. It just gives you a whole bunch of information that you need to know on your screen in an unobtrusive way. I tend to keep it at the top of my screen. And what this gives you here, it's a bar at the top of the screen that gives alliance points, it gives your bag space, your gold, so you know how much gold you got. It tells you your soul gems, how many empty and full soul gems you have, which is always handy to know. Horse feed timer. If you're still feeding a horse or just bought a new horse, you might be able to make use of that. Research timers. You're still researching stuff, especially at the Nirnhond. I'm sure some of you are still doing a lot of research, so timers are very handy. Repair cost and weapon charge bars. You can just glance up there and say, oh, I really need to repair, or my weapon's out of charge. I better get a soul gem in there and recharge that weapon. Gives it a real world time so you don't lose track of that. It also gives you your level and experience, werewolf, vampire experience bar. Gives your current location. I happen to really like this because you can easily see exactly where you are at any given time. And one feature of this that's fairly unique is you can save these settings. So you go on a character, you get everything set up the way you want it, exactly which of these options that you'd like to display on your screen. And you can save it as a system-wide setting. And when you do that, you can load that onto any of your characters. Even if it's a different account, you can actually load a different account because it's system-wide. You can actually share those settings on all those characters from all those different accounts on the same PC. So that is very handy. But the utility of this is just phenomenal in that it just gives you all of this on your screen. Again, unobtrusively, I keep it right at the top, above the compass there. And I couldn't play ESO without it anymore. I really enjoy
All right,
it.
you convinced me. I'm going to have to get it. I was going to add
Did you
more
ever try it,
add-ons.
Fred?
I have it. It's a perfect toolbar. And the greatest thing about it is everything that Vince has told you about that's on there is also you could decide whether or not you want each piece on there. They're turnable. There's a switch for each piece. So if you don't care about your alliance points, you can turn that off. If you don't, if you're not a werewolf or a vampire, you could turn that experience bar off. So you don't have to have all those things on your toolbar. It's definitely a worthwhile part of the screen, in my opinion, too. I use it, and it's part of. It also has real-time FPS. It also has real-time
That's correct.
current world time on it, so you know what time it is in your part of the world, which is nice because I don't know about you, but I obviously always lose track of time. It's easy to do. And it's nice to be able to glance up there and say, "Oh my God, it's past midnight already, and I got to get up in the morning." Things like that.
It happens all the time when you play ESO.
Yes, it does. So yeah, you would definitely find that toolbar to be very handy.
I was just looking for my add-on manager, and I can't find it, so I'll look at that later. But anyway,
It's actually part of
It's part of
Wicked
the framework,
framework.
actually.
It's
Wicked
not.
framework.
I don't know if it's a standalone, so you might have to download Wicked's framework.
Yeah, it used to be a standalone a while ago.
okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yep.
One of the people in the chat room said that the 4 million XP per level is hard to get.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is a UI issue.
Just to remind everybody that that is just a UI bug, and
Yeah.
that ZeniMax is aware of it, and they will fix it. It's still, you only require 1 million. So once you hit that 1 million mark on there, you'll level up, regardless if it shows the bar full or not. So don't
As a matter
sweat
of fact,
that.
with the last post, or the last patch, 1.5.4, they made sure that a lot of people all of a sudden found themselves popped up at least a level
Yeah.
because of the change from the almost 1.5 million needed to the 1.1 million. So when they reduced the amount, a lot of people ranked up quite a bit.
To answer Harry's question, no, all you need is the Wickeds framework. You download that. That includes the toolbar. It's just one add-on, so it's very handy.
Yeah.
To
And
download.
the other things that are in that framework, I don't know if you even
There are
have to
other-
turn them
Yes,
off.
there are other things. I was just covering the toolbar tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, the toolbar seems what I'm interested in, so
Yep.
we'll go off
Yep.
of that. Really quick here, I wanted to bring up, you guys hear us talk about all the time how we're all in a guild together, and we're in Daggerfall. We are a part of the Brotherhood of Redemption.
Hoorah.
Hoorah! And we do actually have spots available, I believe, on the guild for new
Yeah,
members.
yeah. We always take in good people.
So if you are interested, we have a few spots remaining. You just go to which website do we go to, Vince?
We go to eso.borguild.com.
BOR Guild is one word.
Mhm.
And go there. There's an application you just fill out really quick, and we'll get back to you, usually within 24 hours, I believe.
Yep.
All right.
24 to 48. Yep.
Yep. So within 1 to 2 days, you'll have word back, and welcome to the most awesome guild there is in ESO. I enjoy the snot out of it. We have a TeamSpeak that if I can't be in ESO without being in TeamSpeak with these guys. They kind of go hand in hand for me now.
Wouldn't be as much fun.
It's like another ESO add-on.
You have to have voice chat. I can't imagine
Yeah.
being in a game today and not having voice chat. I really can't.
It really adds a lot to the experience to be in a guild and to
Yeah.
also be in a team speak, especially if you're in a dungeon, or in a trial or an AVA. It's really adds a lot to it.
I do have one complaint though. Tell everybody to quit arguing with me. People ask for advice, and okay, I've been playing this game since alpha before anyone else besides the dev team, and they still argue with me like I don't know what I'm talking about here. Annoying. Stop it. Okay, I'm done. End rant. I still love it, regardless.
Just come off that soapbox.
What's up?
You're off that soapbox now?
I'm off soapbox. Soapbox is down.
Okay. Okay.
I was getting dizzy anyway. All right. So that's pretty much it for our notes in a way. We had a bunch of questions for our guest, but obviously our guest is not here. But before we go, we are going to do a little. I'm going to challenge my co-hosts to test their knowledge here of ESO.
Uh-oh.
This is not going to be a trivia thing, okay, guys? This is not trivia. This is going to be a Spitfire tip session. So we're going to just randomly just fire out those tips for people. Any tip we can think of that we think could be useful to them. Get those brains going.
Okay.
I can see the smoke coming out of Fred right now anyway.
Well, I mean, these are probably people know them all. But anyway, I mean, probably the best one that I can give people is just always search. I don't care where you are. Chests, unlocked chests, obviously, barrels, crates, urns. You never know what you're going to find. That's where people find the recipes, crafting ingredients, obviously. And you also never know when you're going to find the books, things like that.
Yeah, lore books. Okay, guys, my turn. In Aradon, there is no foul. If you're trying to fish in Aradon, there is no foul water. So, the foul fish are split up into the 3 different areas. For lake, there's one in the lake, one in the river, and one in the ocean that you can find. They will are a rare random drop, the rare fish for the foul. So if you find yourself pulling your hair out trying to get that awesome yellow like I'm trying to do, you have to fish the other 3 sources in order to get the 3 foul, because there is no foul water in Ardon. Vince, go.
Okay, my tip, I don't think I've given this one before on the show, but horses. I actually keep 2 horses. I keep a cargo horse, for pack animal, and I also keep a speed horse. And the difference between the 2 is dramatic. I find whenever I'm doing PvE content, like dungeons, delves, public dungeons, you tend to pick up a lot of loot in places like that. I definitely use my pack horse for that. If I'm heading out into AVA, though, AVA is a big place. You really need a fast horse. Absolutely. So I purchased the speed horse, feed that sucker apples, and there you go.
Can that one get up to like
Definitely wanna have 2 horses
65%?
if you can.
The speed
What's
horse,
that?
can't that get to like 65% maximum?
75, I believe.
75%, that's right.
Well,
It's the
depends
65%
on-
Yeah, I'm
for
not
the...
quite there yet, but almost on my speed horse.
That's nuts. I gotta do that
It is.
because I have my other horse and he's at 46%, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a speed demon. Those guys make me
No.
stand still.
You can get the 1 golder up to 65.
Yeah, even if you only get if let's say you have the Imperial horse, you bought the Imperial pack, even that, you could still have a speed and a pack horse, and it's still helpful.
Okay, just to
Yep.
remind everybody, we do record this show live, so if our chat room, feel free to ask us questions or
Yep.
blurt out your tips as well, and we will air them out. The Imperial race. As a race, should this exist? My point being, Tiber Septim was first Imperial, and he was born 250 years after ESO. Oh, we got a good lore question there. And you know who I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
Fred's like, oh, I gotta research this. Oh,
Yeah, I got to, because I'm not. I'm pretty certain he's right, but at the same time, there's got to be a reason for.
I can tell you one thing about the guys at ZeniMax. They worked very, 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 very closely with Bethesda because they are, in fact, in the same building, part of the same
Right.
company, and they were extremely detailed and extremely leery about getting all the lore correct for the time frame that ESO is placed. So I'm sure there is a reason for it, and we will have to find out. If anything is Iskukip, we will have that answer for you on next episode, guaranteed.
I promise you, I will do the research and I'll see what I can do to find out for you. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
We will research
Then I'll-
this. We will find this out because that's an awesome question, and get back to you on that. All right.
ESO does pay a lot of attention to the lore. Like Joe was saying, they actually have an excellent lore master, Lawrence Chick, and
Yes.
his job actually is to make sure that the lore is consistent, and they do actually coordinate with Bethesda.
You know, guys, I totally want to get Lawrence on the show just to have his voice on the
I
air.
would love
Oh, that would be awesome.
Can you imagine having Fred and Lawrence going at it? It's like what's the word, the frame I want to use that's PC? It's like chocolate for the ears.
chocolate, peanut butter together.
Oh, you're killing me.
I've been playing Ted games since Arena, so definitely the lore is interesting to me as well.
Oh, Vince, I have to ask. Have you tried the peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich?
I absolutely did, and I enjoyed it. I was telling the
Yes!
guild the other day. Thank you. It was a very strange recipe, but I enjoyed it.
It's not strange. It's awesome. The flavors work. I love to cook, okay? People ask me all the time, why don't I open a restaurant? It's because I don't have the mental capacity for business. But I can cook. A lot of my college roommates, when I was in college, were culinary majors. So I learned a ton. And last night I actually made a really killer 4-star restaurant. We call it 4-star mashed potatoes. So they're like 4-star restaurant style mashed potatoes with the basil, garlic, salt, all that good stuff. And they're just so And then I did some country fried steak, white gravy, a white
Oh, my
seasoned
God.
gravy, and it was just
And my mouth doesn't water much, but you just did it.
I love cooking. I really do. I've actually invented quite a few recipes. One of them I call hardtack in a bowl. It's chicken
no.
fried steak. My best friend calls it chicken fried salad. It's fried potatoes with seasonings. So I fry up the potatoes in a pan, cubed, and I fry up chicken the same in a pan as well with seasonings. I put it all together. Fry up a whole bunch of bacon, crumble it up, put it in there. Whole bottle of ranch, mix that bad boy up, and it's literally the best tasting thing in the world. But you should not eat it very often because you will die of a heart attack. But it's amazing. Now, welcome to Food with Joe,
Yeah, really.
Vince and Fred.
Let's have a little food show on the side now.
Yeah, we got completely away from tips onto other stuff. And what do you need, son?
No, I have a question for you later.
All right, I am in the middle of a show. Oh my lord, that is depressing. My son wants to learn how to shave. He's getting too old. I gotta teach my son how to shave.
Oh man!
Real fast.
First on a podcast.
Yeah. All right. So, anyone in chat room have any kind of tips or questions for the show? Now is your chance. We welcome all questions because we actually consider you guys the fourth host. Speaking
Absolutely.
of a fourth host, we aren't actively looking for a fourth, but if the right person happens to fall into our lap, we are welcome to a fourth host. And then you guys in the chat room become the fifth host. Either way, you guys are one of the hosts of the show. I'm having way too much fun tonight, guys.
That's because he took that pain pill.
Regardless,
Oh, okay.
I am talking about ESO with my boys. The show is
Yes,
back,
you are.
and that's what counts. All right, guys. Any more quick tips? I gave you guys plenty of leeway to think about it. That was my whole point in stalling here.
What about tips?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were done.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no,
thought
I
you were
was
done
stalling.
Oh man, you're doing it again.
All right, okay, instead of that, you know what, guys?
Okay.
What did you guys do in the game in the last few months that was really exciting? Get us caught up on a brief little bit here about what you were doing. Let me really quick so you guys can think about this for a second here. When I got back into game, the first thing I did was obviously I got my sorcerer up to VR1. That was my goal. And actually, when I got back off of work, because I got laid off because of my medical condition, I have a pretty severe medical condition right now, but I'm surviving. I'm getting through it regardless, like yada yada. I am home now recovering, so I have a lot more time to play the game when I feel up to it. Oftentimes I'm too sick, I really can't get in game. But, needless to say, my goal was, like, when I got back in the game, I was like, 1 week from today, I am level 44. I'm going to get to VR1, and I'm going to kick the snot out of Molag Bal. I did it at 10:22 p.m. or 10:02 p.m. Saturday night. I had less than 2 hours to spare for my goal. I hit VR1 and I spanked Molag Bal.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I was ecstatic. I love my sorcerer. I'm having an absolute blast. My buddy Justin, aka Navosi, got back in the game, loving it. Him and I hung out for quite a while Friday night, questing like we did from the beginning. He's the one that I did my little martyring with. How romantic. We went from 1 to 50 rapidly. We did everything together. We destroyed things that would take 5 people. We did a 5-man dungeon or 4-man dungeon once, just the 2 of us, not realizing it was a 4-man dungeon, and beat it. And so he's back, and now we're doing our sorcerer to sorcerer because he left at VR1 sorcerer, same spot that I just got to. So we were having a blast, like slaughtering everything. We had 2-3 groups come at us, and we would just wipe them out. A blast. He's a great healer, good guy, a lot of fun. I'm still doing my fishing achievement, and I finished Aradon today. Finally got the last rare. The stupid lake bluefish would not drop. I went through 300 freaking worms. Guts. I meant guts. Finally got it. And
Thank
now I'm
God
moving on
for
to the next
that
one.
bait house.
Yeah,
Right?
that bait
Big
store.
John's there, yeah.
Thanks, Big John. Thanks. Much love. All right. And then in the meantime, I'm trying to get my Dwemer stuff, and I've been hanging out with the guild. Honestly, if anyone in the guild just wants to do something with me, all I gotta say is, hey, Widget, come join me. Don't be like, oh, Shay, do you kind of want to do it? Or does anybody in here want to do this? Just say, hey, Widget, come with me. I will most likely, most of the time, unless I have something else going on, will do that with you, because I just like hanging out with everybody. That's just the way I am. Trust me, I'm not doing anything so important that I can't stop and go help you with something and go have fun with you. Not a worry. That's the kind of way I am. All right, Vince, take it away.
Okay. Well, when we last spoke, I believe I had just defeated Molag Bal. So I believe I had just hit VR1. So from there, I went into Caldwell Silver. I got to meet Queen Irene. Now, obviously, I'm with the Daggerfall Covenant faction.
She's
you know,
kind of
where-
hot, dude.
And so I didn't have the greatest opinion of the queen because she's the enemy. I know everyone likes her. She was the enemy. So I got to meet with her, and it was very interesting. I actually got to like the character quite a bit, and I was happy to help her, in her journey. And I really enjoyed that part of the story, up through Auradon and questing alongside the queen. I then went from there, and I proceeded through all of the different areas. I'm still in Caldwell Silver. I'm just finishing up now in the Reaper's March. But I had quite a good time in there, and then I've been spending a bunch of time in AVA. I find that the AVA in this game is just incredible. I've never been really a huge fan of PvP, but this game definitely did it right. They've definitely drawn me in there. So I've been in several different campaigns doing AVA, everything from the large scale, keep fights where there's a couple hundred people on each side, to the small scale. I was helping a guild member trying to become emperor in one of the campaigns the other day, and it was a very small scale fight that really was very entertaining for me. There was just 3 of us on the DC side. It was about 8 to 10 on the AD side. We were defending a keep, and I really enjoyed that. We actually did hold that keep, and it was quite exciting. I think they really did the AVA quite well. So that's basically what I've been doing, is adventuring in the Caldwell Silver, and I can't wait to get the gold. I'm really looking forward to seeing those areas for the first time. I deliberately stayed out of them in beta and haven't made any characters over there because I want to keep that pristine and a really fresh experience.
That is awesome. You're going to like it a
all
lot.
The stories are great.
Yeah. I actually very much enjoy, even though Daggerfall is still my favorite, obviously, I really enjoy Daggerfall, and I'm like, my liege, my king, and all that good stuff. That storyline is actually very, very good, and I really enjoy the zones after the starting zone. The first starting zone drives me up a wall. I can't stand it. The Red Mountain, there's something about it I'm just not a big fan of. The Morrowind area just kind of always bugged me. Too many creepy alien bugs. But you're going to love it, man. You really are.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, so our favorite English chatter here has another interesting question for us really quick. Dagoth.
Dagathor.
Yeah. From the game Morrowind, started rising to prominence 300 years after ESO. Would in your opinion, could ZeniMax integrate both he and Vivec into future expansions? I doubt we're going to see 300 years down the road anytime soon. But depending on how long the game progresses, we are going to start seeing some very prominent features of the game start to appear. And we're going to see all that history that we loved from Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, going to be coming to life in this game. That's like one of the coolest things. You guys all remember the Mage College, right? In the ESO time we're in now, that's now coming to existence. Okay, before this time frame, it wasn't in existence. It's coming to existence, and we might have something to do, may or may not have something to do with the building of that nice little tower.
I'd just like to add that we're in what's called the interregnum. We're in this particular time period, but we have a lot of the world that we haven't seen. We only have about a third of Tamriel, actually, that is available
Take
to
a
us.
look at the map. There's still plenty of the map to be opened and explored.
And there's
There's,
other continents, gentlemen. Not to mention the fact that there are the plains.
Correct.
So,
And there are the other continents if they wanted to expand to those.
and I can guarantee you we're going to start seeing more of the plains come into existence as zones in the future. I have that feeling. And it's going to be pretty awesome because with that kind of, it's like I'm a fantasy author, okay? My book Continua. You can find it on eBay and Amazon, just saying. Writing fantasy is like you don't have any restrictions. And these planes are the same ways. They have the background lore for each god, but then there's so much they can do within those realms that could be so awesome.
Yeah. It's one thing we can say, and as fans of ESO, you pretty much have a world with a rich history at your fingertips here. Whether
Agreed.
they utilize and what they utilize is going to be up to them, obviously. But man, we all we can do is just sit back and enjoy what unfolds.
And the cool thing about this game, I noticed, one of the cool things about it is your decisions make an impact when you're playing the game.
They do listen.
Yeah,
They do.
your decisions in the game on your character make an impact in the story. So you
No,
can just
that's true,
imagine,
yeah.
yeah, all the events that are coming up, all your favorite events from Dark Brotherhood and things of that nature, they're gonna unfold at your fingertips from your interaction. It's just gonna be awesome. You're right, Fred.
Yeah, but they do listen to what we say too. You
Hmm.
guys in the chat room, when you go on the forums and your words, what you put in as suggestions, they read all that. They really do. It's not like, oh well, just give us your money and that's it. They are very interested in what everybody has to say. A lot of the things that have changed for the better.
Okay, I really like our English friend here. Another question on the subject of Daedra and the planes. What was your opinion of Sheograth? I hate the punk. I hate the knowledge-loving punk.
I
I
thought he
think
was
they
fun.
did a good
He's a
job of
mass
representing him.
of eyeballs. Screw him. Anyway,
Geograph.
He was fun. He was a handful of fun.
Yeah,
which eyeball?
no, Geograph, the mad guy.
Yeah, I know. Fred, what about you, man? What have you been up to?
Let's see. Well, since I've actually grown. I'm up. Baronon's made all the way to. He's very close to VR8 now. He's slowed down a bit too, due to my own health as well being an issue. I've lost a couple weeks here and there, but he's made it to gold. He's doing well in that area. He went all the way through the whole Elben territory, and he's now heading into his normal home area as a Nord, and kind of loving it, even though he also says hi to the king all the time. Uh, I have to say, I agree with Vin. I was very surprised at how enjoyable the storyline and um, just in general how kick-ass it was to in all that in Origin and everything. It just was fun,
Yeah.
much more fun than I thought it was going to be. Um, the most interesting thing that happened to me though was probably the first time in my life, in my adult life, playing games and stuff. I've never ever ever played any type of magic user.
Oh,
I've
really?
always, at best, the closest I've ever come was to play a paladin. And one of my fellow guildmates, Quick Kick, and I myself, decided to start characters together. And for some reason, we both decided he was going to, and I decided to do it as well. Decided to join, build sorcerers. And for me, that was a first. And I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised at how much fun they are.
Hmm.
So this is going to be interesting to see. He's level 15 now, and I'm actually enjoying him with much glee.
Oh, I
Excellent.
bet.
I'm so used to being up front and seeing eye to eye and bashing with my two-handed, with Baranon, that to be standing 150 feet away and casting
Annihilating him.
spells and doing something totally different is just a refreshing take on the same battles. It's totally interesting
Yeah.
to see it differently. It's so I'm looking forward to see the big battles with the sorcerer.
Yeah.
So that's what I've
yeah.
been
You're
spending
gonna
a lot
love
of
it, buddy.
time on, watching him come up.
I realized one thing. Me and Fred have too many of the same kind of interests when it comes to these games. He has a DK as his main, and a sorcerer as his alt. Hello.
Yeah.
Two-handed DK over there with a ranged sorcerer. I mean, geez, Fred, you gotta copy me much?
Well, I'm not an author.
You could be, man.
I write music. I don't read. I don't write books.
See, now you got me jealous. I wish I could write music.
Well, I used to wish I could write books.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of music. I just can't play a note to save my life. Can't sing a note to
I've
save
been
anybody's
playing
life.
for 40 years.
Dude, we gotta talk more about that off the air. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Well, guys, if Fred, do you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, this is it. This is a wrap. Episode 5. In the wrap,
Went
guys.
fast.
What's up?
I said it went fast.
It did, and yet we're actually kind of going to be one of our longest episodes so far.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, it was a blast, guys. I am very happy to be back. I don't want to speak for Vince or Fred, but I can tell by the vibe that I think all three of us are pretty much happy to be back.
Yeah, we missed it. I think
Absolutely.
it's pretty safe to say. It was good to see you coming back. That was the most important thing with your health issues and everything. I'm glad to see you're willing to get back into the fray.
More than willing.
Good.
Excited to get
I'm
back
glad
into
we
it.
got an audience, and thank you all for coming out. Sorry
Yes.
that Brian didn't make it.
Yeah, we're sorry that Brian didn't make it this episode, but we're like I said, I'm gonna try to get him on the air. I do plan on poking at Paul Sage, getting him on the air as well. I know that ZeniMax listens to us, and if you guys have any questions about the game, about lore, about anything, or you want to give out your tips and tricks, or you want to have us shout out your guild, please email us, and we will be more than happy to do that for you guys. All right? Every week, we want to do a guild shout out for a guild. So email us your guild information, website or whatever, or how to get a hold of you guys, and we'll get you guys on the air. We'll shout out your guild, get you guys some awesome members, and give you guys props for it, okay? As well as all your questions and everything like that. We want to hear it, your tips, tricks, because trust me, between me and Fred and Vince, we know a lot about the game, but we don't know everything. And if we're missing a tip that you guys found interesting and cool, let us know. We'd be glad to do it. Glad to talk about it. So email us. Our email is elderscrollingonline@gmail.com. It's all one word, elderscrollingonline@gmail.com. Our website is elderscrollingonline.wordpress.com. You can see the episodes there. It's pretty much all we put up there, really. It's just episodes. Our YouTube is YouTube/elderscrollingonline. As well as our Twitters. You can tweet the show or find out when we're going live, all that good stuff, at ESOing Podcast. All again, one word. My Twitter is at TheWidget, WIGIT. Baranon can be found, Mr. Fred over here, the awesome Baranon, can be found at Baranon ESO. Is that right?
That's correct.
BARANON ESO. And Vince has the Baskin Robbins name. Every time I see your Twitter, I think of Baskin Robbins. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Vince is at VN Robbins. Just as it sounds. VNROBINS. Follow these guys. They're awesome guys. Follow them. Check them out. Pretty cool guys, alright? Again, our guild site is eso.borguild.com. BORGUILD.com. And the add-on we mentioned tonight is WYKKYDS. And that's it's part of the framework. So it's the Wicked's framework. Check it out. Awesome add-on. I'm downloading it as soon as the show is over, guaranteed. Gonna put it in there with my little list of add-ons. And thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been episode 5. We be back. And we'll be back next week too. So every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we go live. And if we have any change in plans, our Twitter is where we're going to announce that. So that's at ESOing Podcast. All right, guys. I just want to say it's phenomenal to be back. I can't wait to get to episode 6. And we'll see you all next week.
Have a good night, everybody. Keep playing.
Take care, everyone. I'll see you next episode. Enjoy your time in Tamriel.
And that's a wrap. That's a cut. Good job,
All right.
gentlemen.
All right.
Good episode to come back into. You guys did great. It was a very fluid episode.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh,
Thanks.
it's Cupcake. We are in East Coast. The three of us
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eastern time.
we're all New York, New Jersey guys.
Yep. Thanks, Killer Boost. Appreciate that. All I gotta do is edit this bad boy and get it on the air. I am glad this antibiotic did not affect me as hardcore as it normally does. I was really worried
Well,
about
glad
that.
to hear that. What's it named?
Flagyl.
Flagyl. Oh yeah, that's called Fartalot.
It's called dizzy a lot for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like wondering after I took it why my symptoms. I get frequent dizzy spells. I get disorientation. Obviously the other things I'm not going to mention on the air. And I looked at the pill information, and sure enough, the most common side effects are all the things I just listed.
I hear you. Thanks, Silver. Thanks. It's good. It's Kukip. That's a cool name.
Yeah, it is. I like it.
Yeah,
I hope he comes back next week in the chat.
yeah,
I
great
liked his
questions, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
phenomenal
absolutely.
job. All right, guys, you are free to go as you wish. I'm just chilling with you guys in the chat room because I can.
Yeah.
As I get some of this work done here. Let me see. This is episode 5 raw, as in uncut. Save that so I don't lose
And
it.
inedible.
Yeah, I would never release this on iTunes as is. There's a lot of podcasters that do it straight to cut or no cut episodes. They do straight to pod,
Okay.
and that's
Yeah.
where they don't even bother editing or anything like that. They just take it and pull it straight into
Yeah.
iTunes.
And it doesn't make sense when you can. Okay, Silver.
Yeah, take care.
All right, Silver. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna go ahead and close the chat room right here.
Okay. It was
Everybody.
a pleasure, everybody. Thank you again for attending, and we'll hope to see you next Sunday night.
Absolutely. We'll see you then.
All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next Sunday. This episode will be going up on iTunes very, very shortly. It'll probably about an hour, maybe 2 at the most. You'll see it. It'll be in YouTube within the next 30 minutes. And peace out. We'll see you guys next week.